Hey, what's up, fam? It's Super Wiz with another super topic. So today I wanted to talk about something that kind of helped me throughout a point in life that was relatively rough. Comes down to a few questions, or one concept several different ways. That being, how do I let go of the past? How do I stop saying I shoulda, I woulda, I coulda? How do I go beyond fear? Because in all honesty, that's all everything really boils down to. Can you truly say that you're living a new life? Can you truly say that you're living at your finest moment if you're still living with any form of fear? So you may say, oh, well, I don't have any fear. I'm out here trying all kinds of new things, stepping out of comfort zones, etc. But I'm going to ask you a question. Are you afraid of death? So the concept behind that is that if you're afraid of death, then you still have, it may even be, the smallest portion, but you still have fear residing inside of you. As long as you have that fear, you're going to be limiting yourself. It's quite inevitable. When you are afraid, you limit yourself from making decisions. You limit yourself from growing, from growth. You limit yourself from experiencing things that can help you. The reason why I say death in particular is because in order to become a new you, you have to allow the things that made you the old you to die off. Therefore, essentially killing the person you were yesterday so that the person that you're going to be tomorrow to live. As long as you hold on to the past, as long as you allow what you did yesterday to take up space in your heart and your mind and your spirit, there won't be any room for the new you. There won't be any room for growth, for change, for development. You're always going to have this past you keeping the new you from living. So these things are important. It's important to be real with yourself. It's important to evaluate. It's important to listen to criticism from others. If you don't have anybody in your life that's really, trying to help you out with these things, then maybe you need to change your surroundings. Allow those relationships to fall off, or allow those friendships to fall off. Essentially, allow it all to die. Allow it to die off. So that way you can make room for, new people and new things. So when you sit and you think about growth, you think about change, and you look over the past year, what have you accomplished in the past year? Or are you living essentially the same problems every year? Financial struggles, hardships, cutting people off, every fall. Really look at it. Like, are you upset or angry at somebody every year around the same time because you're holding on to old feelings? And that's the anniversary of, a bad thing for you, Because if you are, you're holding on to the old you. You're not allowing yourself to grow, which is limiting your understanding and your communication. Because when you empty out all that old baggage, you have room for so many more things to where you're not carrying that crap from place to place. That's important. It's very important. Because if you don't, you're living the same day over and over and over. You're living the same month, the same year. Every day you get up and you go to work, you're tired. You're like, man, I'm so tired. You're tired Monday. You're tired Tuesday. You're tired Wednesday. Even though you just had the weekend off, you're going back into work and you're not revitalized. You know why? Because you're not new. That's what it boils down to. Because you went to sleep being exhausted about, thinking about something that was bothering you, thinking about how long your day was, thinking about how somebody bothered you. You don't have to worry about all that. Once it's done, it's done. Once you leave the past in the past, you don't have to worry about anything else. Not at all. All you worry about was right here, right now. Once you start evaluating what's right here, right now, you don't worry about the future. You don't worry about yesterday. Right now. That's why they call it the present, because it's a gift. Once you start living in it, you'll start doing a lot better. I can sit here in fear of the future. And I could be like, man, I'm afraid to cross that street because I seen everybody else cross that street and they got hurt. I, may have crossed that street in the past and I got hurt. Or I could look up and pay attention and say, well, maybe everybody got hurt because they decided to cross the street without looking because they were in their phones and they didn't see the cars speeding back. So that's why I say if you live in the present, you're able to evaluate, observe, and acknowledge what's going on around you. And you can say, oh, well, there's a gap between these cars speeding by. If I just pay attention to my surroundings, I can cross the street carefully. And it doesn't have to be a place for me to be afraid of. It doesn't have to be something I have to be afraid to do. And the way we apply this to life is that, you might have hopped into relationships, you might have gotten into friendships, you might even branched out to do, your own business and it didn't work out. Might have tried to go to school and not able to finish. Maybe the way you were going about it is what was wrong. It's not necessarily what you were doing, it's how you were doing it. So giving up isn't really an option for me. So I always have to sit back and evaluate, what did I do wrong? I don't like to go through the same things over and over and over. I like to be better. I try the same thing until I finally achieve, my goal. But I'm not going to do it the same way every time. Maybe I walk across the street this time. Didn't work out. So I try running next time. Don't work out. So maybe I'll ride a bike across the street. Maybe they'll get me across fast enough. You know what I mean? You got to go about things. You have to be, but you can't try out those new things if you're constantly being afraid of the past. You can't try out, you won't even be able to think of new things because in your mind you're going to be so stuck on what has already happened that you're going to fear what may happen. And that's just nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That's living in fear. Control what you can. Do away with the rest. You can't control the past, you can't control the future. But what you can control is what you're doing right now. And that's watching this video. So feel free to leave a comment, like and share the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you think. What are you afraid of? What are your fears? Peace.